The time is precisely 1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here's the news edited by Lal Malavarachi and read by Rumesh Piris. The headlines. The online safety bill is to be taken up for debate in Parliament as objections fielded by the opposition fails. Minister Kanchana Wijesekara says that the electricity bills of the Parliament and the Presidential Secretariat have been settled. The Commission of Registration of Motor Vehicles says fines will be imposed for persons who buy and maintain vehicles under open papers. Farmers to be compensated for crop damage due to the salt barrier of the Nilbala River. The government to pay monthly welfare allowance to institutionalized persons. Applications for the 2023 GCE Ordinary Level Examination will be called from today. In news overseas, US and UK launch fresh strikes on Houthis in Yemen. And in sports, it's cricket. Sri Lanka Women's Under-19 team to meet Bangladesh at Tri-Nation Series opening match tomorrow. Now the local news in detail. The online safety bill is to be taken up for debate in Parliament today, after 83 MPs voted in favour of debating the bill, while 50 MPs had voted against it. Accordingly, the second reading debate of the proposed online safety bill will continue in the Parliament today. Although the relevant debate was scheduled to be held in Parliament today, the Parliament session, which commenced at 9:30 a.m. this morning, took a 10-minute adjournment to convene a party leaders' meeting for discussions on the proposed online safety bill on the request of all parliamentarians belonging to the opposition. Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa had requested for a party leaders' meeting before the online safety bill is taken up for debate, following which the Speaker adjourned the Parliament for 10 minutes. A vote was then taken in Parliament whether or not to take up the proposed online safety bill for debate. Opening the relevant debate, Minister Tiran Alas said, views and proposals from the civil organizations and the amendments proposed by the Supreme Court will also be included in this bill prior to pass in the House. Power and Energy Minister Kanchana Wijesekara says that the electricity bills of the Parliament and the Presidential Secretariat have been settled. Addressing the Parliament today, the minister said that certain newspapers had published in connection of due bills not being paid are false and baseless. The minister requested irresponsible parties should be called before the Parliament Privileges Committee for an inquiry. Meanwhile, Minister Mahinda Amaravira said in Parliament that farmers are to be compensated for crop damage due to the salt barrier of the Nilbala River through the Agrarian Insurance Board. The minister added that farmers who had registered under the board will be entitled for compensation. Moreover, Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abewardena expressed that farmers have missed 9 crop seasons consecutively. Furthermore, over 12,500 acres of paddy cultivations have been destroyed. He pointed out that all farmers affected in the area so far should be compensated. The Speaker stressed that the salt water control barrier should be eliminated immediately. Acting Finance Minister Shehan Semasinghe says the government will pay a monthly welfare allowance of 2,000 rupees through the district secretaries from this month to approximately 16,146 institutionalized persons who have benefited under the Samurdhi program. Minister Semasinghe added that this will include clergy in Pirivan, children's homes, elderly homes and disabled persons who are in caregiving homes. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with more local news. The Monetary Policy Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka has decided to maintain the standing deposit facility rate and the standing lending facility rate at the current levels of 9% and 10% respectively. The board arrived at its decision at its meeting held yesterday following a comprehensive assessment of domestic and international macroeconomic developments in order to maintain inflation at the target level of 5% over the medium term, while enabling the country and the economy to reach its potential. The board took note of the effects of the recent developments in taxation and supply-side factors that are likely to pose upside pressures on inflation in the near term. However, the board viewed that the impact of these developments would not materially change the medium-term inflation outlook. Further, the board noted the space created by past monetary policy, easing measures and the decline in the risk premium attached to the government securities for further downward adjustments in the market lending interest rates. The Department of Examinations announced that applications for the 2023 GCE Ordinary Level Examination will be called from today to the 15th of February 2024. The department highlights that only applications sent online via its official websites www.doenets.lk or www.onlineexams.gov.lk will be accepted, and those web addresses to send only applications are www.doenets.lk or www.onlineexams.gov.lk. The deadline for submitting online applications expires after midnight on the 15th of February. The Department of Examinations emphasized that no extensions of any kind will be granted. And that concludes local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala.
Moving on to the main news story. The Commissioner of Registrations of Motor Vehicles says that fines will be imposed for persons who buy vehicles and maintain them under open papers without registering the vehicle in their names. It has been revealed that many persons are using vehicles under open papers at present. Therefore, a fine of 100 rupees per day is to be imposed to such vehicle users. Meanwhile, the police have launched a special program aimed at identifying motorists violating traffic rules through the CCTV system in Colombo. There are reportedly at least 108 CCTV cameras within Colombo city, covering the main locations and flyovers. Public Security Minister Tiran Alas said the program will be expanded soon to cover the entire country while using the latest technology. And that came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala.
This is Watchlight.
And in Watchlight, 3 dengue-related deaths and over 7,000 cases have been reported in the first 20 days of this year, according to the National Dengue Control Unit. Jaffna reported the highest number of cases, reaching 1,602, followed closely by Colombo with 1,536 cases and Gamba with 637 cases. Commenting on the matter, Health Minister Dr. Ramesh Patirana highlighted the insufficient public support in controlling the spread of dengue in the country. And that came to you in Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
Moving on to the bulletin of world news, and first the headlines. US and UK launch fresh strikes on Houthis in Yemen. At least 11 dead and dozens missing in Yunnan landslide. Russians sanctioned over Australia's worst data breach. Now the world news in detail. The US and UK have conducted a fresh series of joint airstrikes against Houthi targets in Yemen. The Pentagon said Monday's strike hit 8 targets, including an underground storage site and Houthi missile and surveillance capability. The Iran-backed Houthis have been targeting ships they say are linked to Israel and the West and travel through the important Red Sea route. The US and UK said they were trying to protect the free flow of commerce. Rescuers in China are racing to find dozens of people who are still left missing after a landslide struck a city in Yunnan province. The landslide in Zhaotong occurred at 05:51 local time yesterday, trapping 47 people and killing 11. President Xi Jinping has ordered an all-out rescue in the area, which is experiencing sub-zero temperatures. State media reported that according to preliminary investigations, the landslide resulted from a collapse in a steep cliff. A Russian man has been named and sanctioned for his role in Australia's worst data breach. The personal information of 9.7 million Australians was stolen from the country's largest health insurer, Medibank, in late 2022. Sensitive documents, including abortion records, were then posted online. The cyber sanctions, the first of their kind in Australia, include financial penalties and a travel ban for Alexander Ermakov. Back to the headlines of the world news. US and UK launch fresh strikes on Houthis in Yemen. At least 11 dead and dozens missing in Yunnan landslide. And Russian sanctioned over Australia's worst data breach. And that concludes World News.
Development News.
In development news, Health Minister Dr. Ramesh Pathirana points out that the use of artificial intelligence in healthcare in the coming years will revolutionize the industry by enhancing diagnostic accuracy, treatment customization and operational efficiency. The healthcare sector will experience a transformative shift as artificial intelligence applications gain prominence. At a recent meeting at the Ministry of Health, the Minister said that there are 11 medical faculties in Sri Lanka and the health service should also advance with such modern tools, including technical subjects such as artificial intelligence in the medical curriculum. Thereby the progress of the healthcare will be further strengthened. And that was Development News.
Moving on with sports news.
And in sports, it's cricket. Sri Lanka Women Under-19 cricket team has left for Bangladesh for 3-nation series, including Pakistan at present. The first match between Sri Lankan and Bangladesh will be played at Hai Kamal International Cricket Stadium Academy grounds tomorrow. The final of the series will be played on the 2nd of February. And that was sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
In business news, the Jaffna branch of the Commercial Bank of Ceylon has been awarded a platinum rating by the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka, the highest award in Sri Lanka for green buildings. The accolade was presented at the 2023 award of the Green Building Council, at which Commercial Bank also received an honourable mention in the banking sector for the Council's Green Business Leadership Award 2023. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
In economic news, Sri Lanka Tourism said that they expect over 250,000 Chinese arrivals this year, and airlines are already adding travel frequencies to Colombo. Last year, Sri Lanka attracted 1,487,303 arrivals after nearly 4 years of setbacks due to the pandemic and political upheaval, and the country expects to pass the 2.3 million arrival mark this year. And that was economic news.
Weather report.
And finally, moving on to the weather report. The Met Department says showers or thunder showers may occur at few places in the Sabaragama province and in the Galle and Mathura districts in the evening. Mainly fair weather will prevail in other areas of the island. And that was the weather report. And to end this news broadcast, a recap of the main news headlines. The online safety bill is to be taken up for debate in Parliament as objections fielded by the opposition fails. Minister Kanchana Wijesekara says that the electricity bills for the Parliament and the Presidential Secretariat have been settled. The Commission of Registration of Motor Vehicles says fines will be imposed for persons who buy and maintain vehicles under open papers. The farmers to be compensated for crop damage due to the salt barrier of the Nilmala River. The government to pay a monthly welfare allowance to institutionalized persons. Applications for the 2023 GCE Ordinary Level Examination will be called from today. In news overseas, US and UK launch fresh strikes on Houthis in Yemen. And in sports, it's cricket. Sri Lanka Women's Under-19 team to meet Bangladesh at Tri-Nation Series opening match tomorrow. And with that, we conclude this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Back to your lunchtime hostess, Heshma Samad, to keep you entertained. Over to you, Heshma.